to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and tonight we're celebrating love, baby. Yes. Listen, it was a couple years ago when we went to the Savoy and we shot 2 episodes about Loving Day, and we introduced interracial relationships between black and white couples. And this time we decided we're gonna spice it up just a little bit more and talk to some Blasian couples. We talk about Black and Asian. So, y'all ready to get into it? All right, let's get into it. Come on.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
All right, let's get into it with these couples, shall we? You know these very first ones. We got Jamal and Nurali Wiley back in the building. Welcome back.
Thank you.
A whole new topic for y'all.
Yes.
Ready for it.
Okay, you better be. All right, the other couple, we got Chavez and Chino Ho. Welcome, welcome. First time on the show.
Yes.
Okay, y'all look like y'all planned and called
Look at
each
that.
other beforehand to look on this couch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, y'all look good.
Coordinated.
It works.
All right. So, you were invited to discuss being in an interracial relationship, marriage. However, it just so happened that one of you is black and the other is Asian. So now we talk about Blasian relationships.
Yeah.
So, how would you say deciding to be in your relationships affected the relationships around you and how they perceived y'all because of the other culture?
It's a good question.
I think it defined us because it was such a big deal for her on her side.
Yeah.
It was. I remember the day we looked at each other and said, "Hey, you know, we're going to do this," and put our foot forward, and we stuck to it. Because, like I said, it was a lot for her on her end with the family and.
We
Yeah,
had a lot
let's
of
speak on
challenges.
that.
I mean, I've had people tell me like, well, I don't know if it's going to work, but you can prove us wrong. Or, you know, we had a lot of
Just going off
uncertainty if
stereotypes
we would make it.
and-
But here we are 12 years later, and I still can't wait for him to come home. And I think it's vice versa. I now travel for my job, and like I know he misses me when I'm gone. So here we are. But we overcame a lot of adversity and doubt when we first got together. So.
And so you are half African, half Indian, is that
Well,
correct?
I'm all Indian. My
You're
mom
all
was
Indian.
born in Africa, but she is Indian, and my dad was born in India. And then they immigrated here in the 70s after they got married.
And culturally, what type of Indian?
I'm
is your-
Gujarati. I'm Hindu. Yep.
Hindu. Okay, so were they like, ooh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you
was a
marrying
lot
like one of
I think I
ours?
grew up as always
Yeah.
like the wild child in my family.
Uh-huh.
Like I always wanted to do something different. So a part of my dad was not surprised, but he, you know, he tried to be as supportive as he could. Bless my dad. But you know, even from friends, you know, I've lost some friends through being with him, and that's been interesting. But you know, the family came together, and we had our daughter, and of course that brings everybody
Everybody
together. But something unique to me and Jamal was like our parents were good because they knew each other. We grew up next to each other,
Right.
so again, they knew each other.
But
it's been
what, Jamal?
interesting.
But what?
Yeah.
I would say since our parents did know each other, I would say it just made it easier to accept me.
Yeah.
Like it was
If they
easier for them
hadn't,
to- yeah,
you don't
'cause
think it would have
was-
been as easy?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Because I
Really?
had to, I guess in short terms, prove myself, so to speak. You know, to not be a stereotype, to not be just a negative in her life, especially.
The
I mean, but
pressure
how
was
does
on.
that feel, Jamal? Like knowing that you are stereotyped and you're in love with someone, and you know that her family doesn't accept you and has these preconceived notions. Was it difficult, or were you like, you know what, I got to do this because I love her?
As a black man in America, it's another day. It's another day. I mean that. So what I can say, it wasn't necessarily from a negative. Like when it came to her dad and when it came to her uncles, her dad's best friends, which still are in contact with me today, even though he's not here with us. It was never just.
It wasn't negative, but it was like, we'll see what
Hey,
happens.
show me
tough.
something.
Yeah, it was tough.
This was
It was
baby
tough.
girl that of this outsider is trying to claim or whatever the case. But it was never in a negative way. But I definitely had to show myself and prove myself.
And you did, baby,
Yeah,
and you did.
absolutely.
Yes, you did.
Absolutely.
All right, on to the host.
Yeah, onto the host.
Oh, Chavez, Chino, how was that?
Honestly, it was almost the same, very, very similar stories, but I think more so because we got engaged and married very fast. So we met March 6, 2015.
Wow.
We were engaged July 4th. It's coming up. And we were married January 2nd. So we didn't waste any time. Yeah, and so I think for us, that was our shield. Like, we knew what we wanted, and we went for, well, honestly, it was him leading it, because
What do you mean? You knew when you were like, I'm going to lock this up.
I was 25, and we have a big age gap. So not only culturally,
36, right?
racially, age gap, we're 12 years apart. So it was a lot of negativity coming towards us from, on my side of the family, it was more so like, y'all are 12 years apart. What is this about? You know, and then on his side, it was more racial. I think with the Asian culture, especially when you're from your original country, it's more so you need to be with your own, because, you know, you understand each other more. And when I think for anyone where you get into an interracial relationship, it's like, what are you doing? Nobody else did this, and here you come with. So it opens the door to different, you know, a difference. Like, well, I don't know if you're gonna know how to cook for him, or, you know, just being a wife. It was just so many different, you know, nervousness around us being together. Like, are you guys gonna make it? Like, we'll see.
Fully understand.
We'll see.
We'll see.
That like triggered me, because I had somebody say like,
fully
you couldn't bring
understand.
home a white guy, an Asian guy, anything like this. You bring home him, and I was like, wow, like what's
Yeah.
the difference? You know,
Yeah.
like I wasn't raised to see color. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you guys are judging and you don't even know. We're just, you know, we're human. We like flavor just like you like flavor. And a lot of Asians and Black people are very much alike. We just don't know.
Oh, we're going to talk about the
On that
cultural
one,
differences
yes.
coming up, but I haven't heard from Chino, so after the break, I'm going to get you to talk, all right? You stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We're talking to some interracial couples who happen to be Black and Asian, the Blasians. We've got Jamal and Nurali Wiley. We've got Chavez and Chino Ho. And, you know, Chavez was talking. And Chino, ¿qué pasó, mi amor?
I can't do too much talking. Let the white talk.
I mean, that's smart. That's smart. You know, let the wife
I don't
talk.
want to say something wrong. You know, she gonna blame on me.
But how was it bringing Chavez to your family?
I really want to say nut on the camera, so I let you talk. Man.
Honestly, well, for him, he kind of grew up in a Black environment.
Oh.
So he was like kind of naturally attracted to Black women. When you came over here, babe, tell us a little bit, like, what age were you? 15?
15.
Came over here, and then what school you went to?
Jesse Jones.
And Jesse Jones is what? Mostly what?
Majority Black.
Black and.
Yeah, I say 98% Black. Back in 92.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he kind of was already dipped in our culture and was used to, and you know, you guys worked in it, so it was fine for us. But it was just more so the parents, and it was just something different, and just breaking that chain link.
And we don't want to talk ill of our parents either.
Oh no.
But
they
I mean,
love me now. If I don't show up, they're like, where? Well,
it's like, where's Chavez? We don't even
yeah,
want you,
yeah.
Chino.
They call me. I'm like, call your son.
All right, you talked a little bit about the cultural differences,
Yeah.
so I have a little video for us to watch, and we'll talk about it. Let's take a look.
Let me tell you something, sweetheart. I don't know how y'all do where you from, but let me tell you something. Where I'm from, we don't do like that.
How is it in the kitchen between y'all? Is it very different?
Oh my gosh.
I don't
it
cook,
is.
so she don't want to stay in the kitchen most of the time.
But do you have something to say?
Culturally, I think in the kitchen, you know, it's just mixing different flavors. So now, like, if I make gumbo, I have Creole heritage, so I'm making gumbo, and now I use fish sauce in my gumbo.
Wow.
So it's like, you know, your palate start changing. You start like liking, because at first I didn't even eat pho, right, babe? And now I love pho, and we mix, and that's how it is in the kitchen for us. But like certain things, like he didn't use a towel, like a face towel. I'm like, dude, what? He just used a bar of soap. I'm like, no, we use towels around here. So, yeah, so I can see what they were talking about in the video.
Yeah. All right, Wiley's.
I mean, we do most of our arguing in the kitchen because he's like, not too much seasoning, not too much this. And I'm like, just trust me, trust the process. And then, of course, when I cook, he's like, oh, why does yours taste so good? I mean, down to like pancakes. So we'll use like a box of pancake mix, but I'll add in some extras. And then he'll be like, I tried to do the same, and it just doesn't come out the same. But then when he sees me doing it, he's like, not so much.
I think my biggest thing when it comes to the kitchen, culturally, it's the food is fine, her cooking is fine, all that's good. But when her being Indian, man, a fork and knife, right? You know, simple utensils, we use them, but my kids.
We eat with our hands.
Yeah.
Eat with our hands.
Which is cool, but like it's still just, I've never done it. So I see my kids like, you know, just hands in and
That's a good one. That is
still to this day, every time I see it, I'm like, but I can't get mad because I understand where it comes from.
My best friend was my freshman year roommate, and she's Indian. She's Muslim though, and she taught me to eat with my hands.
Hands.
So I mean, anytime I'm around her family, I'm eating with my hands. Then we go to her sister's wedding. I'm eating with my hands. Everybody got a knife and fork, and I'm like, what the?
They're like, no.
And they looking at me crazy. I'm like, this is what y'all do.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That made me
too
think of
funny.
that. All right, so outside of the kitchen, you made an example of the towels.
Yes.
What else is
Going back to food, like I remember eating for the first time, one of the first time with his whole family, and they pulled out the chicken feet. And I'm just like, the chicken feet. That this is something, and you just see the claws just sitting on it, and I'm just like, Lord, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't eat the feet. But I, bid it just to kind of be respectful. But yeah, it's certain things, and, just even washing hands, like, Black culture, we're just, especially when you bring a newborn in, I remember I was a different beast when I first had my child. I only have one baby, but I was so like you have to wash your hands. I'm germophobic because he was a newborn. His family was just like, give me that baby. And I was just like, did you wash your hands? But my family, they came in and they knew right away. I didn't have to mention it. It's just like they're washing arms and hands. And just culturally, so that was a big difference and a big deal because it was just like, I'm not calling you dirty, but you just came from outside.
I don't know where you were.
Yeah. All right, I think you brought up another good topic, raising children. All right, you stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been having a good time talking about the cultural differences between a Black and Asian household. We've got the Wileys and the Hoes. All right, you talked about having a child. So how was it raising your baby?
Oh, man. Well, still raising him. He's 6, going on 7, going on 50. And he honestly runs our household because we got only one baby. So, but raising him has just kind of been, fun, but we're also learning just as parents, and him having 2 different cultures helps so much. Like he understands, he says ba versus grandma. So ba is just grandma, and then versus honey, which is what he called my mom on his side. So just him having 2 split,
so
and
he's learning
understanding
both languages?
Yeah, a little bit.
He can speak Vietnamese a little bit, not that much.
Yeah.
Is that because you're not talking to him, Chino, in Vietnamese?
No, because the mom don't speak Vietnamese. That's a problem.
You see? You haven't taught her Vietnamese either then.
She claims she speaks Vietnamese better than me, so.
And what are you seeing, Chino, as far as like raising your child, what the cultural differences are? Or what do you bring that's different from what Chave brings?
The mom do all the work anyway,
What
you know what? That's a good. I'm glad you brought that up because
you set yourself up right now.
In my culture, the daddy supposed to
Working.
go work, make the money, and the mama got to handle business.
And in my culture, we do both the work. So I kind of force them, but that's true.
But it's not my fault she married me, so she got to go back.
He always said he was born a hoe, I chose to be a hoe. But yeah, culturally, like he didn't wash his clothes. You didn't clean a bathtub. He just, boys and Vietnamese culture, from what I know, they're like kings. He hires people, so I'm like,
I was
look,
like, hold up,
it's
hire him.
fine.
Like, all right, you better go get this paid. Outsource it.
Outsource king right here.
Love it.
Absolutely.
All right, Wiley's.
I mean, so 10, our daughter's 11 now. She'll be 12 next year. I think being born in split culture kind of like works in their benefit. Like, she's so savvy, she's so smart. She loves both cultures. So Jamal's family's from Louisiana. Of course, my side is Indian. And watching her immerse herself in both cultures has been really great, to be honest. Watching her cook with my mom has been like so amazing. And then when, she's with Jamal's family, we get to, like, she learned to make banana pudding with Jamal's mom and her sister, So she's really learning both cultures, which works for her. So along with teaching her from my side, I'm teaching him and he's teaching me. So it's been really a learning, immersive experience for all of us.
Jamal, what's something that you've learned watching Nurali be a mom?
Well, one thing I noticed, what made it easier for
like
me
this.
to accept her and her culture when it comes to my kids and the wife and her being Indian or however you want to relate it, being Hindu. So it like you said, it rolls off until the kids. Our oldest daughter favors both sides. She's picked up from both sides, but it made me easier. It made it easier on me to accept the wife and her culture just because of their beliefs, because of how they value life, family, and just,
You were like, you respect the values
right
at the end of the day.
Right, and I'm all for anything rooted, meaning the Hispanics go back to the Aztecs. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So anything that's thousands of years old and still here today, I'm all for.
Yeah,
It's
Most
up to
likely.
our generation to carry it on, right?
Yeah.
So it's teaching them that,
Yeah.
in our house, we all eat dinner together. Like, I don't allow our daughter to have her tablet or her phone. Like, no, come talk to me about your day. That's what we did growing up. I didn't have a phone, that's for sure. So really trying to teach them those core family values is where.
So the family values play a big part. Yeah.
Well, cheers to y'all's love. All right, I see y'all got some
I'm
empty
empty,
glasses, so
I'm
guess
empty.
what? I'm heading behind
Let's
the bar
redo.
with the Savoy, because that's where it all began. They're gonna show me how to make the perfect date or the red flag. I don't know. We'll see. You stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been celebrating love, but I'm behind the bar now because I've got the Savoy in the building. So it's time to do what? Back that glass up. All right, we got King Kirsten back. All right, looking fabulous. Here for the very first time, we got Tavius, who's going to walk us through some of the drinks. And of course, we've got the owners of the Savoy who always bring the party, Black and Long. All right, before we get to the drinks, it was 2 years ago that we were actually at the Savoy shooting our episode about interracial love. How spectacular was it, to sit and watch these two couples discuss their journey?
It was definitely that spectacular, just as you described. It was hilarious to see the similarities because we get it, and all the characters so wonderful too. So
it was Hollywood.
It's Hollywood.
It was Hollywood. Okay. All right. There's always something happening at the Savoy. So what's going on right now?
It's summer.
The summertime. So we've got misters on the patio. We got summertime drinks. We got vibes. We got a mechanical bull.
We got a bull. For all the ladies and guys that's into riding bulls. It's out there.
It's out there.
It's out there.
And we welcome it all.
All right, we're gonna have to come to the mechanical bull. All right, you mentioned the drinks. So Tavius, I hear you're behind the creations that we had today, right?
Yeah, a couple of them, yes.
All right, so what am I having here?
Right here in front of you, you have what we call the perfect date. What we're going to call the perfect date.
April 15th.
Okay.
When you were born?
No, that's from Mean Girls? No. Something, Miss Congeniality. It's from one of them movies. I don't know.
Yes. It's a perfect date. It's a perfect date.
It's actually tax day. That's no good. Anyway. I'm sorry. What's in it?
Let's not talk about
What's in it?
It's it's our version of the sex on the beach, basically. So your traditional sex on the beach, your vodka, your peach schnapps, cranberry juice, orange juice, and then for us, we had a little chambord on top.
Okay, I love it. I mean, this is what I was having while I was on the couch. All right, King Kirsten, what you shaking up for us?
This is the Savoy's version of the French Connection. It has the Serrano, Branson Red, and a hint of strawberry.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
All right, so you made these for the Love Island, because, man, that is the phenomenon taking over.
It is.
Right?
It is. It is.
That's the red flag.
Ooh, not me loving a red flag. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay, so if we want to catch up on Love Island, we gotta go to the Savoy.
Tuesday.
And just to have a good time, maybe ride a mechanical bull.
Every day, come on with it.
Every day, and celebrate love every day.
And
no
drink a
matter
red
what
flag.
your race is,
Yes.
okay? And
Yes.
drink a red flag, don't be a red flag. All right, we'll see you guys next time.